Hello and welcome to another Out of Spec Reviews video. Welcome to New York City. You join me where I'm able to present to you the Volkswagen ID.7 for the global premiere. My understanding is Volkswagen is launching this car both here in North America, Europe, and also in China at the same time. So I have to say a huge thanks to Volkswagen for letting me see the car ahead of the reveal so I can bring this video to you and share my very first impressions. Now, of course, I can't wait to get this out on the road and test it and see how far it can go and how quick it can charge, running in our new 10% challenge, which this should do pretty well in. But ultimately, this video is just going to be my very first impressions of the car. I don't know too much about it. I'm going to share what I do know, talk about some new powertrain enhancements that are coming to the new MEB platform, just lots of different things, and yeah, just soaking in this car for the first time. So join me as we look at the new Volkswagen ID.7. So you join me with the ID.7, and well, let's kind of get the specs out of the way first and maybe show you where this car falls into the line. This is really what Volkswagen is calling their flagship electric vehicle. They tell me it's about the same size as an Arteon, which some of you may know what that car is. It's a really cool car, actually. We have some reviews. We have a Nürburgring track review of an Arteon plug-in hybrid wagon, which was just awesome, the shooting brake version. But ultimately, this is about the size of a Passat. Kind of looks slightly larger to me, but this is a big, upper mid-class electric sedan. So the sizing is pretty cool. Now, this, of course, is a global model. So we've, on this channel, reviewed the ID.3, which is their little hatchback. We love the ID.3. Volkswagen, bring it to America, find a way. Bring an ID.3R here, a real spicy one. Then, of course, we've done everything imaginable with ID.4. We've driven ID.5 in Europe. We've never tested ID.6, which is a China-only model. And then this, the ID.7, is a global. So it'll be built in Emden, Germany, which means no federal tax credit in the US. Maybe if you lease it, though. We'll have to see how that plays out with that little loophole. However, it'll be sold here in Europe and China. So that's pretty cool. Forgive me for holding my phone here because I'm just referencing some notes that I have, mostly their media page, but let's walk this thing front to back. So here we go. Don't know the name of the color. Really nice. Lighting signatures look so similar to everything else we've seen from the ID line and even other Volkswagen models carrying through the lights. This particular one's a Euro spec, but I believe the US spec should have the light up Volkswagen badge, which would be pretty cool. I'm a big fan of that. Of course, it's got all their premium lighting stuff like we've seen on ID Buzz. I forgot that's another one that we've reviewed. And I don't know if they'll let me, but can I open up the front trunk? Maybe there is a front trunk, maybe there isn't. Let's take a look. I'm just hoping there is, but we'll see. No MEB vehicle up to this point has had a front trunk. And, I'm not a big, I don't use front trunks. I own electric vehicles with them. And yep, just like the other ones, no front trunk here. No big deal, I think, but this looks actually pretty familiar from other ID stuff. You can see they actually have a battery tender on to keep the lights on, which is pretty interesting. But other than that, that's all standard MEB stuff. Yeah, wow, soaking in the size of this car. It feels very Volkswagen. It feels very MEB. The door handles are a squeeze door handle, identical to ID.4. They have the little remote locking button that you can hit right there. So that's all as I would imagine. The rear door, look at the size of this. Whoa, that is a big door. And we're going to definitely go inside, take a look at the interior here in a little bit. On the way around, let's talk battery pack sizes. There's 2 on global offer, but in the US, I believe we'll only have 1. So in the US, we'll have the same battery pack sizes as ID.4, which is, roughly 83 kilowatt hour usable, 77 usable, 83-ish gross. You can bump up about 9 kilowatt hours usable for a larger pack. I want to say it's 91 kilowatt hour gross, 87 usable. And that gives you a little bit more range. I don't know why we're not getting that in the US, but as part of their packaging, it just was decided not to be brought here, at least at launch. So I don't know, it should be kind of interesting to see how this comes out. Not sure of any EPA numbers right now. I know the big battery, they're predicting huge range in the WLTP cycle, 700 kilometers. That's like 430 miles, but it won't do that in the EPA cycle, and we're not getting the big battery. So they're estimating maybe around 300 miles in the long-range rear-wheel drive version that the US will be getting, which again is going to be that same battery pack size as ID.4. 0.23 coefficient of drag, which Okay, that's right in line with Ioniq 6, with Tesla Model 3's 0.23, Model Y is also 0.23, but whenever we mention coefficient of drag, you have to multiply that times surface area. We don't have those figures at this time. Rear trunk, dude, this thing is cool. Alyssa, what do you think about the size of the trunk?
It is massive.
Yeah.
Honestly, that could fit the dogs just perfectly.
Yeah.
I'm a fan.
Totally agree. Like this, as a dog hauler, I'm so happy they went with a liftback rather than a sedan hatch. This, to me, almost makes the whole car so much more usable and practical. If you were thinking about going for, you know, maybe this size of vehicle and going a little bit more upmarket to Mercedes EQE, that has a traditional trunk hatch. And so does the Ioniq 6, and so does the Model 3. So here you are with a sedan with a liftback. Love to see that, power operated, of course. Now, my understanding is the base spec in the US is gonna come like almost fully loaded. It'll have an electrochromatic glass roof, which we need to take a look at. It's gonna have some really cool stuff. Really, the only upgrades you can go for are the big Harman Kardon sound system, which is much needed in the ID cars to have a better sound system, because that's one of our biggest complaints, and our friends who own them, their biggest complaints, so that'll be fixed. Massaging seats, and we're not talking just like the ID4 air bladder massage. This has butt and back massagers. We're gonna have to play around with those. And ultimately, this is what Volkswagen is positioning as their long distance cruiser, the highway mile muncher. And there's a new rear motor as well that produces a lot more power. So you guys remember with the ID4, it's 150 kilowatt output. It was never fast. And ID Buzz, of course, that we've driven, it's never fast. Some cars don't need to be fast. I actually was fine with the power output, but we'll take more efficiency and more power. What's interesting though is because this is basically MEB underneath, no change from the other cars, they had to put in a more powerful motor in the same size. So they updated the cooling strategy slightly. They put a little bit stronger magnets on the rotor because it's a permanent magnet motor in the rear. The windings have been increased and jammed in there, and they have changed the way that they shape the windings as well. New inverter technology. Ultimately, the whole new drive unit is called the APP550. So that's the internal code name for it. I know some of you are going to want to know power figures. Well, we're going from 150 kilowatts in the US spec ID4 up to 210. That is a significant jump in power. And that's, by the way, there'll be different versions of this, of course, but 286 PS, I'm sure it lists horsepower somewhere. I'll put that up on the screen. I don't remember offhand, but when you drive these cars, they're all quick enough, silent enough, but I'm really excited to see the motor calibration on this new rear motor. There's also a whole bunch of different drive modes that can affect suspension now. It has dynamic chassis control with basically magnets in the dampers to adjust, so that's gonna be cool. Different drive modes, things like that. In terms of charging, I'm expecting it to be, what the heck are we seeing here? It lifts up, whoa! I'm expecting it to be very similar to ID4 charging, probably 11 kilowatt onboard charger, probably 48 amp would be my guess. See somewhere in that 190 kilowatt peak DC rate. These things charge like monsters from zero. If you're on a road trip, you just want to get to the charger as low as possible, ride that charging curve to 20% and unplug as soon as you can make it to the next charger. We've shown that many times, and this should do pretty well actually in the 10% challenge. The big, I would say, miss here, at least that I'm hearing, is en-route battery preconditioning. Still no en-route battery preconditioning. The one thing you can do, though, is use your right foot to do it, so you'll still have to yo-yo it and move it around. The new software in this vehicle should be capable of over-the-air updates and all of that, so I hope that's something Volkswagen considers to add very soon. Let's jump inside. I'm doing this because they gave us a 10-minute limit to film this video or so we're going quick. You guys hop in, I'm gonna hop in on this side, and let's give it a go. So, all-wheel drive models, by the way, I don't know when they'll come. Hopefully they'll come at some point. The inside, what the heck? This is so nice. Holy smokes. Glass roof, electrochromatic. Whoa, look at the roof. Whoa. End the review. This is all we're gonna do all day. So you swipe back to open, swipe forward to close. Wow, and it really works. See if you can get on one of these on these lights. That's so sick. How fast can you go? I think we've confused it. Okay, that was cool. Take a look at this. Beautiful. What, are we in a Tesla right now? They 15-inch touchscreen, same as Model 3 and Model Y. Whoa, they even have this little screen right in here. Take a look at this. Super cool. So what do we see here? We see parking brake. We see that the driver assistance systems are booting, lane centering. By the way, travel assist in this as standard, great system. We have reviews of it, 67% state of charge, 251 miles. That's promising. Touchscreen, this is software 4 point something. We can set our charge limit from 50 to 100% as we like to see it. They recommend 80% charging, that's perfect. Optimize rapid charging, current rapid charge capability, 144 kilowatts at 67%. Guys, this is like what Mercedes does. It tells you at your current state of charge how fast you can take on juice. That's so cool. Charging location stuff, battery care mode is similar to the other cars where it just limits you back to 80% after every time. Bidirectional charging, yep, 10 megawatt hours, same as the other. AC charging, they still don't let you change it in increments, but they at least let you reduce it. This is a snappy system.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
Built-in Spotify. What is IDA? I want to drive efficiently. What sound does a cow make? What? What is this?
It's their Alexa.
Oh, it's like their built-in thing? Wow, I wish we had more than like just a couple minutes to play around with this. I can't wait to make more videos with you about this. Let's see all of the driver assistance stuff. Nothing here sticking out that's abnormal from the typical system here, so that's all good. We saw the EV settings, charging, we were just in there. Vehicle, comfort light, yeah, you can see the ambient lighting is really cool. They have them here on the dash, in the doors, all really sweet. Wow, I have to say, these seats, Alyssa, what do you think?
Very comfortable.
Yeah, the backrest is like perfection. I hit the massage, and it's individual little bladders. And yeah.
So it's not like the e-tron.
No, it's air.
It's air, yeah, definitely air.
And then you can see they have a thigh extension here in the seat as well. These seats are cloth with the leather on the outside. It's nice. Heated and ventilated seats. The climate control, they use the touch screen to change it. And just like Tesla, your climate controls are on the bottom. Take a look at this, backlit displays as well for here, the temperature and volume. That's really nice and needed. This one has the HK sound system. I don't think we'll have time to blast it, but you can see high, medium, and low for the air conditioning. How do we adjust our vents? 73 degrees, okay. So you have like a home button here. Rapid cooling. We don't want that. And yeah, anyway, this is pretty sweet. So all of this in here, we're gonna have to play around with it a little bit more. Seat air conditioning, that's what I'm looking for. There we go, cooled seat on, boom. This is sweet. We got center armrest here with some space. I got to try out the back seat really quick because they're trying to kick us out of here. This is so neat. So let's do back seat review and then we'll end this thing really quick. So I'm going to sit basically behind my seating position. Oh yeah, there's room. There's room. So much more than Ioniq 6, so much more than Model 3. You can't even compare them. This is a legit back seat right here. 2 USB-C ports, heated controls, I believe maybe even a little screen right here possibly to tell temperature. You have 2 phone holders up from 1 phone holder in the ID.4. Take a look at that. Boom. Take a look at this. Boom. Even ambient lighting in the rear. Love the roof. I hate to rush through this for you guys, but wow, this is so much more than before. So let's jump outside. We'll end with final conclusions of our first look of the Volkswagen ID.7. Have to say, it feels like a quality product, the door thunk Volkswagen thing. It all feels very MEB, but it feels like just turned up the dial a little bit more. Now, the range, the efficiency numbers that we get on this thing in our testing, that's going to be the big question, because to me, if it ends up being not that much more than ID.4, well, maybe you don't go for it. But I really think this is going to have a significant range improvement and road tripping time over the existing MEB cars. When you compare it to its competition, it's tough out there, so we're going to have to do some comparison testing, but at least on initial glance with this car in a vacuum, very positive impressions from my side. Really like the updates they're making. That software was really good. That rear motor, juicy on the back. Love to see that. Can't wait to hear what they do with the all-wheel drive versions. My understanding is it still will be an induction front motor, a permanent magnet rear, which is good. That's what you want so you don't have flux-related losses when cruising. Again, efficiency is the name of the game here. But yeah, we got to play around with this thing more. But again, a huge thanks to Volkswagen for letting us come here to New York, see the car ahead of its premiere, and be able to present this video to you at the time of unveil. So thanks for watching another Out of Spec Reviews video. I'm sure there'll be more to come with this car. We'll see you on another one soon. Bye-bye.